Welcome to Network Marketing Pro. My name is Eric Worre, and today I want to ask you a question. Can people change? You hear things like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or you want to take a look at somebody's future, take a look at their past. And I think sometimes that's true, but more than anything, it's a mentality where people decide to stop learning and to stop growing. My early mentor was a guy by the name of Jim Rohn, and Jim taught me so much about personal development, so much about growth. And one of the times he sat me down, I heard him say this on stage, but when he told it to me in person, it really made an impact. And sometimes one little conversation can make a big impact. He said, Eric, if you keep developing yourself, if you keep growing, if you keep working on yourself, eventually, when you walk into the room, people are going to go, hey, there he is. That's the guy. That's the guy I was telling you about. And I was like, wow. Because that's what happened every time he walked into a room. People say, oh, hey, that's Jim Rohn. That's the guy. So I was like, wow, I wonder if that could ever really happen for me. Because I would walk into the room. I was an invisible student in school. Nobody noticed anything. And as a distributor, when I walked into the room, people weren't paying much attention. But I really wasn't developing myself much. So I decided from that little mental picture of being recognized for a person of value that I would start to work on myself. And I started. And what I will tell you is change is not only possible, change is predictable. If you just lean in on yourself, if you work on your skills, if you read a little bit every day, or you practice a new skill, you develop some new muscles, you get around positive people, you start to change your environment so it's a little bit more conducive and moving you in the direction of your goals, that if you do those things, that you will change and you will get better and your influence will start to improve. And I will promise you this, if you stay steady with it, eventually people are going to go, hey, there she is. That's that lady I was telling you about. Hey, there he is. That's that guy I was telling you about. Inside of the network marketing community, that's what happens when I walk in the room now. And it's so cool to know that what Jim Rohn told me was true. And why is it true? Because I changed. Because I'm not the person that I was when I started inside of network marketing. I'm not the person I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And one of the biggest challenges of change is the people who knew you when. The people who knew you when you weren't as positive, or you weren't as skilled, or you didn't have as good of an attitude, or you hadn't developed yourself that much. They have a hard time seeing you better than you were. They only see you how you were, not as how you are right now. Inside of my career, I've had what a lot of people would call success. But you know who has the biggest challenges with my success? People who knew me 20 years ago. People who knew me 10 years ago. And they can't get past the fact that they knew that flawed person who didn't have that much skill. They have a hard time understanding where I've grown and what I've changed and how I've become a different person. So just understand this. If you'll commit to change anyway, even though your family and friends are going to want to pull you back to what you were and remind you of all of the mistakes that you made and all of the problems, even though that's true and it's going to continue to happen, if you decide to just change anyway and grow anyway, I'll give you a promise. Your biggest critics in your family eventually are going to brag to the whole world that they're related to you. Your biggest friends that are critics today, eventually, friends or even not friends, your biggest critics, eventually are going to brag to other people that you're their friend. And they're also going to brag about how they met you. They're going to tell stories about you. They're going to tell stories about your old days. You're going to tell stories about all different kinds of things, but they're going to tell it as a source of pride, just like they would talk about meeting a celebrity. When they go meet somebody, say, oh, do you know so-and-so? Oh, yes. Oh, we're very good friends. I've known them for years. They're going to brag about it. It's happened to me. It happens to all the $1 million earners that I know, and it will happen to you if you continue to change, if you continue to get better, if you continue to develop yourself. Can people change? Absolutely. And when people say, hey, you've changed, your answer should be, thank you, I know. So that's our message for today. I hope you get value from it, and I hope you keep changing.